Hello, everyone. Welcome to People on Dating. I'm your host, Willie Morales, and in today's show, I got my brother, Chris. Now, Chris, I know him for a bunch of years, and today's topic is a good one that we thought about, is who initiates sex first? Is it always the man or is it the woman? Anyway, for those of you who haven't tuned into the show before, it's called People on Dating. This is a topical conversation of the ups and downs, the good, the bad, the ugly of dating. You can also find us on YouTube, and you can find us on Facebook, which is what did I call it? People on Dating YouTube show. Anyway, brother Chris, thank you so much for being on. How you doing, brother?
No, I'm doing awesome, what's going on, everybody? Name's Chris, for the interview, but everybody else knows me by my artist name, Hype Hookz. You can find me on IG. You can find me on Facebook, YouTube, Hype Hookz with a Z. Now let's get into this. Yeah, man.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'll put that on the show notes.
Nice.
And it's funny, brother Chris, because I was thinking when I was thinking about the topics, and then when we both agreed to do this, I can honestly say, probably I can count on my hand once or twice, maybe 3 times tops, when a woman actually initiated sex.
Oof.
It's very rare for me. It's usually me doing the
initiating.
Yeah.
That's true. But it also branches off into the fact that I feel like in a certain sense, a woman has to feel empowered in order to feel submissive. And I'm just saying that on the ends of the women that initiate sex, they're in their full-blown comfort, and I feel that comfort allows them to, grab a hold and be a little bit more aggressive about their innate nature. Because if you think about it, we're not the only ones that think about it. We're not the only ones that view it and see it like everyone else does. Like, they feel the exact same way. They're just a little bit more professional about the idea of doing it.
Now, do you think it's possible that if they're not in power, like you just mentioned, right, that they think they're going to get rejected, or especially if it's someone that they're dating, how would you feel that way? But if it's someone that you just met, or you're friends, let's say you're just friends, but you've been friends for a while or whatever, but you just happen, go out, the chemistry all of a sudden takes off.
Yeah.
And, you have a few drinks. Like I said, this person for a while. It's all good.
Yes.
But then are you afraid, or is she afraid that she might get caught out there? You know what I mean?
Well, you can't do that. No, literally what it has to do, at least for me, the way I look at it, is society has a control over everything. Right. So it has a control over people's perceptions, the way people perceive them, the way they want to be perceived by others. And that tick in their mind stays in a woman's mind longer than a man. A man at a certain point of the night or the date or the initial interaction with the person is like, you know what? I'm ready. I want this. How do I go about making this happen? How do I go about setting up this situation so we can meet the end game of this date? But when it gets down to it, I think a woman in her mind is more like, she may have that initial feeling like, yeah, let's do it. But she doesn't want to be perceived wrong. She doesn't want to be looked at as in this moment, like after I submit to him in this moment, the future afterwards is that, all right, now I'm just a memory. So I think like that has a lot to play on it. But like on my hand, just like you said, I could count about me personally, I could count like 4 or 5 girls that has initiated it. Right. 4 or 5 girls, like straight out the back, knew what they wanted. One of them, damn near took advantage of me. It was a wonderful night. But but it literally comes down to, I think in a sense, that person, how they were raised, and it could come back to haunt them. Think about the ones that have been closeted their whole life. They can't do this. They have to maneuver a certain way. They're book strong, their career strong. Right. A lot of them are strong in general. So when they get a chance to, like, just like I said, get into that moment where they can let their guard down, they go off. They go off, my brother.
Yeah.
Like, I've been put in some interesting situations where I did not believe who I was dealing with was going to start it up. And I'm like, okay, let's get it started. Let's do this. But then there's other times that I guess a man has to be a man and take control and do it a lot. Like, I don't mind it. You know, I don't mind initiating it as long as I know that it's not at a boring ratio of us intercoursing. Like, if it's going to be something that I always have to do and you're always going to play the role of and tee-hee-hee, if you're going to do the tee-hee-hee with me, then yeah, it gets boring. And I feel like that should be the situation for anybody if something's in repeat consistently. But nah, bro, you talk about like someone that's like knows her sexuality, knows what she wants to get done. Yeah.
I mean, for
By
me,
all
I
means.
was flattered. I'm like, oh, cool, okay. I don't have to make the move. And now, don't get me wrong, brother Chris. When the first time it happened to me, I remember I was in my late 20s, early 30s, and I was like surprised. I was like, whoa, what the hell is this? But then
that was your first interaction with someone like taking control?
That was taking control, yeah. And
nice.
I was like 28, 29, 30, something like that. So then what surprised me at the beginning, I'm not gonna lie, I was taken aback. I was like, oh, I don't know if I want this, you know, it's too aggressive for me. But then, like I said, after a few dates with this woman, I said, man, you know what? I'm cool with it. I don't have to, I don't have to do all the work.
That's exactly how it's supposed to be.
It went a long time until like 10, 11 years ago, with this girl that I dated that I actually was in love with. She initiated it. She was, like you said, she was empowered. She felt, she had, she could do it and not me rejecting her or whatever.
Yeah.
But then on the reverse side, I was dating someone a couple of years ago. So whenever I try to make a move on her, her line was, oh, I'm not ready. In fact, that was her favorite line. I'm not ready. And after a while, I said, you know what? Then I'm saying, you're not ready. Then be ready for someone else, because I'm out of here.
That was actually a smart move.
It was too constant that I kept on hearing those words.
You gotta watch those. You gotta watch those when because there's a lot of way to perceive that situation. Like when they go, all right, I'm not ready. It could mean that maybe there's something lingering from their past that they're not ready to get past yet for you.
Right.
Or it could just be something along the lines of like, just like you said, like you wasn't ready for this situation, you're ready for another. But I definitely get that. Me, I initiate, like, they say 3 strikes you out. I don't let it get to 3. I initiate twice, and then I have a convo. I've never had to get to that point where I needed to have like a conversation, like, is this the right move or not? Usually everything goes down because I learned how to read the room. I read the room immediately. Like I'm sitting there picking up on vibes. I'm picking up on the way they're looking, the way they're staring at me, the way they're playing with their hair, holding their glass, like every instance of it that lets me know, like, all right, make a move or you're possibly still friend zone. So I read the room so that way I don't lose. And that's something that was taught to me by like my cousin, like early in my years. Like,
yeah,
it's like a way of him, like he was like my OG, dropping gems on me, making sure that I didn't meet failure whenever I try to step out. Because, women don't understand, like, even if in their mind, right? Because communication is key. So even if in their mind they have like a timeline based, like, oh, I need to, like, even if they have like a time, my bad, I had a phone call. So even if they had like a timeline based, like, I need to get to a certain point month-wise with this individual before I feel comfortable enough doing it. I feel like that should be something that's be spoke about in the beginning. Right. If you're not speaking about that to me, you cannot expect me, because I love Marvel, because I love superheroes, that I have somehow inherited like the capacity to read your mind. I'm not Professor X.
What was it like? I was gonna say Professor X. I'm not much into Marvel, but yeah, I everybody that's not even into superheroes knows who Professor X is. Yeah, I get it.
Don't think because I'm bald I can read your mind. That doesn't go with hair loss. That's not how that works. That's never been the situation. That's not how that goes. I'm not able to read your mind. Reading signs that you show me is something different. So if you come out and you're, like, in a sense, presenting something, then I'm feeling like, all right, this is going this way.
Right. There are obvious signs that we
yes,
see.
there's obvious signs.
Right. But all right. So then explain this, because
okay.
you seem you dealt more with this than I have. So if the woman's a poker face, you know, so how do you read that rule?
See,
like
that's
I
the
said, for me, I tried a few times with this woman. I think it was like 3 or 4 times. And then I just said, you know what? And I tried to have the conversation, but it was always veered to somewhere else. So then I just took the hint. I'm like, you know what? I'm in the friend zone. I'm out. And then when this person would say, hey, how come you're not calling me? I gave the answer that some women give to men or men give to women. Hey, I've been busy. And that's it. Left it at that.
Facts. Okay, I was in a situation before. I'm gonna leave names out of this. I don't know how far this is gonna go. I was in a situation before where I was dealing with the girl, and I perceived it as romantically. We was holding the hands, we was kissing, talking all night when we should be sleeping, and having these sort of conversations, even these dialogues back, even pictures were sent.
Right.
Pictures. So I'm like, all right, okay, so when I get you alone, it's on. Then it gets to the situation that we are alone. And I realized that she shut it away. Like she just kept, in my opinion, putting me in some sort of a friend zone.
Right.
And then whenever we would go out to like chill after that, it was like, oh, she brought her friends along. So in my mind, because I think different than most people. And I think that saved me a lot. So in my mind, when that happened, I was like, okay, you are trying to now pawn me off on your friends. Even if that wasn't the situation, that's how I read the room. It's because she was.
So she put you in the friend
zone. That's what I thought.
Right.
That's how. This is the thing. In her, that's why I said communication is key. Because in her mind, I found out after, I guess I upset her. You know, because that's when they finally want to talk most of the time. But I found out after I upset her that she actually was just trying to feel me out, and she wanted other people to feel me out. I didn't know that. Because now I'm going out with you and your female friends. Your female friends are showing me more attention, more attraction than you are. So I ended up sleeping with one of her friends. And when it got back to her,
I was gonna say what happened when I know it got back to her.
Yeah, she was very upset. She was very upset. I got a phone call. I was confused about, like, genuinely. And I know this is the thing. I need all women to understand. If you're not Kevin Samuels or these people that pride themselves on knowing everything that comes out of a woman's behavior, men don't know. We absolutely don't know. And some of us are bolder than others, like me, and I will operate off whatever type of environment you put me in.
Yeah.
And that particular situation was, we're going out to chill. There's always friends. There's always like a coy joint. You want it to be distant or whatever. And it took into that situation for her to come over. I was living by myself at the time. And she came over and she was very upset. And I was so confused. Because at the point where we've been on 3 dates, no kissing, no nothing. And like, it's not like I don't want it to be read wrong. Like, oh, maybe you didn't pay. I paid for everything. Maybe it wasn't fun. She had fun as shit. It was all over her Facebook. I didn't want it to be perceived as like I was being a jerk. I was really confused. And she came over angry that her friend told her that we had an amazing night. And like, I did it behind her back. I was like, how I did it behind your back? I honestly thought we were friends. Like, I went out to drink with friends. I went out and had fun with friends. I thought we were, friends. I thought we were being friendly at that point. Right. I didn't want to push you into a situation that you wasn't ready for. So what I went out and did is enjoyed my time. I enjoyed my time.
How did she respond to that answer when you gave her that?
Long story short, we had sex that day.
Okay. Okay, so she recovered.
No, not really. I see, this is the weirdness. It's really weird. We had sex about like 3 times that day. And I was exhausted. And I think afterwards, what it turned into, this is me, because we didn't really have that deep conversation afterwards. We really didn't speak about it afterwards, where I understood what was happening. She ended up just not, like losing communication. And her friend told me, friend was like, nah, she was upset that that we did anything, and then she messed it up with me and her friend.
Right.
And so I was like, damn. So I had sex with you, and I had sex with her, and now y'all both don't want to have sex anymore. And it all turned into, oh, it had to do with friendship. Oh, I don't want to mess up the bond that we have over a dude. Cool, that's what's up. I initially think that she wanted to do it. She wanted to take her time at doing it. And then when it was done,
but she never communicated that with you. She just basically wanted to meet her friends, to have her friends eye you up and down, maybe talk to you, find out what Chris is about.
Bro, you know I'm friendly as hell.
Yeah.
I'm friendly as hell. I have so many friends, and most of them are female friends. So you have to be a strong person to be with me in general.
Right.
But like, I read the room, and the room felt like, hey, Chris, you are a friend. You are a friend. So like, that's the situation. So I was like, all right, cool. If that's the case, then you got to read the situation. And that's what I was reading it for.
Right.
And at that point that I'm reading this situation and I'm seeing what's happening, I'm like, all right, so if we're friend zone, and I don't need to go past that. I'm not going to intentionally go, you know what, I'm a dog. So you know what, you bring me around, I'm going to get my dog on. I don't care about stuff on that level. And I think that's what always held me out above all. But once I drink, or once I'm in a mood, or I feel good, then I'm going to vibe off that situation to begin with. And that's the way everything went out. So I think that if there was more communication based in that situation, then
a lot of this stuff wouldn't happen. I agree.
It wouldn't. And that's why, like, it's amazing to always state that communication is key, because it actually is.
Yeah,
it really is.
I definitely agree 100%. We're talking with brother Chris here. Today's topic is who initiates sex first. You know, and like I said, Chris, the few times, like I said, I get kind of 2 times, maybe 3, where it was like so obvious. And then there's the times where for me and it's funny that you say this, which is a true 100%. You have to read the room and read the person. Try to find the body language, the hand touching, the twirling,
yes,
you know, moving her legs, you know, crossing from the left to right to left, all this stuff. And then as they say, and you've been through this, where, you know, you have a few drinks in you, they say the truth always comes out. You know, like, hey, this is what I feel about you.
They always say that.
They always say that. A
drunken mind speaks a sober tongue.
Right. And I'm one of those. Truths.
That's what they say.
That's what they say. And I'm a 50% believer in that. I really believe that you just spewing 50?
Out stuff. Just 50?
Yeah, I don't believe 100%.
Okay, now we gotta dive into that. Why not 100%?
Because
you understand that it's considered in most cultures like
a truth serum.
not even truth serum, liquid courage.
Yes, I heard that. Yes, liquid courage.
So if we can base it down to the simple fact of it being liquid courage, right, why is it still 50-50 for you?
Because I think the next morning, when I've been in situations like that, the next morning it's a totally different situation. Like nothing happened, and I come out straight out. I remember I told this one girl, I said, "Hey, listen, I like you," and then she just didn't say anything. And I'm like, okay. So that's when I said, was that the liquor talking? Was that, you know, was that courage because you had a few drinks? You could just feel the way you felt, but
it's
then
the feeling, the vibe.
All of a sudden, you sobered up and just say, "Oh, wait a minute, I'm not interested." And that's why
I think it was the vibe, and the experience,
50-50 for me.
So that's why you say, okay, so you're not basing it off the fact that it may provide courage. You're basing it off the morning after, exactly, like the end result. Okay.
The end result. It's always the end result, you know. And you know, and I agree. It's definitely liquid courage. You know, they say again. We just talked about it. Hey, when you drink, the truth comes out. You feel you feel like, man, I could be myself. Yes, I understand that. But then if the morning after you regret it or you don't remember what you did, well, then we're having a problem here, because if that's the only way you're going to communicate is through a couple of drinks. That's a problem, because you could communicate with a couple of drinks with everybody around and I'm not here. What does that say about you? You know, if you communicate that way when you have a few in you.
That's what I said. That's why it goes back to being closeted. Now, if you're an individual that's been closeted most of your life, that means you're always trying to upkeep the outward performance of what you're supposed to look like. So you're always supposed to try and be something initially that inside you feel is different. So if you're in a position like that, it would take that liquid courage to be like, yeah, fuck it. You know, some people get that in form of a blunt. You know, some people get that in forms of being around the right people, because it could just be the energy too around the people. Like you could have met someone outside and they have that one friend like, go girl, talk to him, do it. You have one of those situations where you're like, all right, you know, and you get that courage to go out and do it. Or like when you're with your guys, you would normally just sit there chill, be like, nah, man, that girl's looking at you, bro. Go over there, man. Yo, Willie, go get him. You know? Right. So it all depends on the environment too. So when I think about how many
plays, I'm sorry, brother, the environment is such a huge deal, because you know what, if you're in a nice setting, a nice lounge, the music is pumping, you're dancing, or you're just sitting down, just checking out I agree, the environment is definitely one of the keys.
Yes, it is the absolute key, because if you're in a position where the environment is still making you feel like you need to worry about everything outside of what you're doing right then and there, then yeah, it's not gonna work. Right. It's not gonna work. But that's why it's all about reading that room. If you read the room properly and you see that, like, all right, she's not opening it up. Could be the music. Could be the drinks are watered down. Could be all these people that's in our face. Could be the environment. Then go for a walk. You know, so it's all based on reading and adapting. And if you're a person that has an issue reading and adapting, you know, you just try your luck. That's where I think the 50-50 is. You just try your luck all the time. Like, all right, but I'll just see how this is going to work with this person. But I did want to go back to one of the things that you stated, though. When you was like that, you could count, like, when you was in your young days, you know, out there slinging the willy. But the question I have is, like, what was the age of the women that actually tried? Like, the first person that tried with me, you know, was an older woman. That was the first person that was straight went out there. Like, listen, I know what I want, and I want your young ass between my legs. So I was like, oh, okay, that's really blunt. She was like, so are you coming over or not? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I'm not gonna front. That first time threw me off, because that was the first time I felt like I was like light skinned, you know? Because like I feel like that only happened to the light skin, light eyes, tattoos, 6-pack, you know me. I got manly dad bod, and no hair, and my eyes are dark brown. I feel like that happens to the people that look like Zach Morris a lot. So when I felt like, you know what I'm saying? So when I felt like I was Zach Morris, I was like, oh, word, I'm Zachy. Let's do this. Yeah. And I adapted to it. And I think a lot more of what I was doing at that time was really based on me personally just trying to look like I wasn't a kid. I wasn't ready. Sure. And it threw me off. I held it down. You know, because we got to keep it a PG podcast. But it's and I literally afterwards, I remember on my way home, because that's another thing. If you're not someone I'm with, I'm not spending the night. I'm very big on that. Right. Spending the night creates a different level of energy, and you don't need to do that to everybody, because certain people could understand, like, I bet we just both tired from doing what we just got finished doing, so it's whatever. Other people would perceive that as different when they wake up and see you in the bed in the morning. Right. They see a future. Because think about it. It was the present last night. What we did was the past. Right. Waking up to see me in the morning is more like a glimpse into the future. That creates different types of energy. So I was always, like, after I broke one person's heart and she let me know and all that stuff, and I didn't mean to intentionally, that let me know, like, there's certain things you have to do, especially if you're in like a single game. You can't just be there doing everything to everyone at any time. Right. So I don't spend the night. I'm not doing that. If you're my lady, then hell yeah. Spending the night. Story, yeah. It's just me and you, you know, that's the way it's supposed to be. But if you're not, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
There can't be that spend the night energy. That's different, you know?
And, you know, and for me, like I said, it was such a huge gap because I was in my late 20s, early 30, maybe 28, 29, 30. And the girl was 20, I think she was like 6, 7 years younger than me. So if I was like 28, 29, she was like 21, 22, 23, something like that. And
Oh
she was
no,
very, and she was
you was a
very impressive.
prize.
Yeah.
No, you was a prize. You gotta, you was a prize. You
Thanks,
got.
Chris. I'll definitely take that.
Yeah, you got to do it. All right, put it like this.
And then the next time, let me just. And then the next time I was 48, and she was 44, and the girl that I really fell in love with, she was 44. So as you see, it was like a 15-year gap because, like I said, usually I'm the one that initiates it. But again, it was I did not fight it or anything. Yeah,
that's what I wanted to key into because I was thinking about the stories. I'm like, all right, but because I know my first time was someone older, second time was someone much younger, and the next time after that was someone young. All legal ages, all legal.
Right.
But regardless, well, no, except for the first one. First one, I was 8. No, I wasn't 18. I was 19. Okay. I had curls. You know, that's different for someone that's bald. I had the curls, the Bobby Valentinos. And she was 37.
Wow. That's wow.
See, because I've always had like that uncomfortable, well, not uncomfortable, because it worked for me. Like I always look older than I actually am. So I was able to get like a job at a certain time. I was able to do certain things earlier than expected. But the end result of everything was that she saw me. I was working. I was promoting for Mi Gente Club at that time. And the funny thing is, I was finishing out promoting for the teen nights.
Right.
And she was like a friend of the boss. So I didn't dress like the kids my age. I didn't do that. So I guess she perceived me to be something different.
And mature. You were more mature for your age. Yeah, for that. Yeah.
Hell yeah. We were drinking at the bar. I had the same drink in my hand because I wasn't a drinker, same exact one. She came in and had a few. And that's when the proposition occurred right then and there. So I was like, whoa, it's pretty interesting. So once that happened, that was my first one. And she was older, went to her house. It was an interesting experience for a young man. I felt like taught me a lot for the future.
Yeah.
And the next time I was like apprehensive almost about doing anything. And the younger one was the one who approached me. And I was like, okay, let's do it. Because also at this time, you got to keep in mind, I was like the chubby dude.
Yeah.
But I had curls, so I had hair. So
the curls were doing it.
The curls was my thing, bro. The curls was my thing. I can't get past it.
Well, brother Chris, you look good, bald. You got the good shape, so you definitely pull it off.
Yeah, I think I could thank my dad for the shape of my head because that's what allowed me to look cool bald. But but other than that, nah, man. I do miss just curls for no apparent reason. Buying various gel to like support certain styles that I think is awesome. But
that's all good. Yeah. That's all good. But I mean, I first of all, and we're almost running out of time, but I really appreciate you bringing your perspective, especially from a young man's point of view, because I think for women, if they feel comfortable in their skin, and especially I think now the way you're saying, it feels like women now, especially the millennials, 21 to 35, feel more comfortable in their body, feel more comfortable that they can initiate it. And if the man turns it down because either A, they're not ready, or they're scared or whatever, then it's
they're gay.
Yeah, it could be that too, which is nothing wrong with that. But
there's nothing wrong with that. But
exactly. But I agree with what you're saying. I just think that women now. And again, I'm going by what you're telling me. It's like they know what they want more.
Feminism, bro.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what I wanted to get into. All right. When it was like chivalry is dead. You know how like that was like going around for our chivalry is dead. A sense of chivalry dying had to do with the upbringing of feminism. Yeah. And I don't have no problem with that. That's pretty much a woman feeling empowered by being a woman, being able to state what she wants, do what she wants. She can do anything a man can do. That's awesome. I love that. But keep that same energy when it's time for marriage. That's also how I feel.
Yeah.
Like the same thing. Keep that same energy. So like go out and buy a ring for the man you want to be with. Pop a question to him. You get on one knee. Feminism is out there, and that empowered a lot of women. So I like the fact that it empowered the women who normally felt like they didn't have a voice or they didn't have strength to do certain things.
Yeah.
But that is also what killed or made it a little bit weird for men to do men stuff. So now I don't think it's the millennials that's out here doing it. And I don't want to say it's the Gen Zs. I want to just put it into the fact that we are at a time where feminism is very big. And that flag of it is pretty much empowering these women to do things that they've never done before.
Yeah.
Or never felt like they should do because it was a man's job. So that's why I just wanted to jump in on that part when you was talking, because I don't want to put it on like an age group. I want to put it on the
Fair
time.
enough. I like that.
The time.
Great.
Just
I
the
love
time.
it. I love that.
Yeah. So like the time we're in, I feel like is really catered to the power of women and the power of being 100%. Sensitive.
And it's very sexual, very sexy. When a woman is powerful, you see, like when I see some women and they got that swag, I'm like, boy, that is so hot. That is so sexy.
It is like that boss swag is really empowering. You know, it also made, we went out to eat one time, Brother Will, we went out to eat one time. And I remember that you had an amazing conversation going with a young lady. But just like I said, we'll keep names out of it. But you should see what I'm talking about. You had an amazing conversation going. Like I was looking at it and I was like, yo, look at Will. Go. Look at the way he's
yeah, I think I remember. Yeah, we went
to Varo. I mean, it's one of those like that Italian place.
Was it that one? I thought it was Caliente Cab, but maybe I'm thinking of something different. I thought it was
Caliente Cab. You're thinking about something different. I'm thinking about us sitting down eating, and you was right next to the person. You was going off. You had the conversation going. And in my head, I'm like, yo, Will is trying to take her home. Because I think I even nudged the beautiful young lady I was with, and I was like, yo, look at them go. And she read it the same way I read it, like, yo. But the thing is that I think that you looked over the power of that situation because you had her undivided, complete attention. And at a day and time like this, that was literally all you needed. That could have sparked something, because I saw the hair playing with. I saw the staring, like you said, when you put the hand under the chin, listening to what I saw, and you were just going off, because you got to understand, like us being older in mindset and being able to hold certain conversations of being intellectual, articulate, whatever it may be, at this day and age, that's a lot more important than what a person looks like. It doesn't go like that on social media. It's because once you get these shells, shells, like the outside looks so great, and you talk to them like,
that's always true. Yeah, that's always true.
Yeah, there's no conversation. There's no conversation here that stimulates the mind, because stimulating the mind is what allows that body to feel free. And at that point, if you would have stepped out, almost out of yourself, and looked at what was going on, you'd be like, oh shit, she's into my conversation. And so
I'm pretty sure it went over me. So
I looked at it go over your head like a plane. I saw it go over your head like a plane. I'm like, look at it go by. Look at it go by. There it went.
That's the story of my life, man.
No, bro. It's amazing because we don't understand our power, and we don't understand our influence as being men. Because once again, at a day of feminism, there's a lot of men that are not being men. Yeah. And women see that. So a lot of them are like, they'll take a shell because it look nice, take good with pictures and promote to someone else. But it's always that other dude that gets in their mind that has the long game.
Yeah, so, I remember one time, this is years ago, I was in my late 20s, early 30s, and this girl that I met through a mutual friend of mine, and she says, out here, it's horrible. I'm like, well, what do you mean? Because, I need my mind stimulated. So I'm thinking, I wanted to tell her, buy a book. That's where my mindset was back then, 28, 29, 30. It took me a few years to get it. I'm like, I get it. A conversation always stimulates the mind. If it's a good conversation, you guys are flowing back and forth. Anyway, Brother Chris, thank you so much for being on People on Dating.
Anytime.
And I love this topic. I love what you brought to the show. If somebody wanted to get in contact with you, what's the best way?
Oh, yeah. Once again, the name goes by Hype Hookz with a Z. I am on Instagram at ineedhookz with a Z. Also, my major music page, which is hype_hooks with a Z. You can reach out to me there. I'm also on Facebook, Hype Hookz. I have a single that dropped in Christmas called Immortal. You know, I got a lot more stuff coming out, an EP dropping in about another 2 months.
Nice.
You can reach out to me.
Yeah,
man, I'm bringing back real music, man. Real music. People that actually spend time to care about what comes out their mouth rather than go, that weird stuff. You know, I'm sorry. There's a lot of people with like broken mouths in music right now. You can't understand what word they're trying to say. But yeah, if you ever need to reach me, I'm out there. I actually have a YouTube page as well, Hype Hookz. Please reach out. And Willie, next we got to do this again, King.
Yeah, no, I definitely want to have you back on and all that. But anyway, like I said, Brother Chris, thank you so much for being on the show. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you. The pleasure was all mine, man. Be good, big brother.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Well, everyone, that was Chris. And I want to thank Chris for being on today's People on Dating podcast. And what did you think about today's topic? In a relationship, who initiates sex first? Is it you? Is it they? Is it them? Who does that, right? Is it a 50-50 thing? Anyway, leave your comments below on our YouTube page. Tell us what you think. When you get a chance, also go to our our Facebook page, which is People on Dating YouTube show. Please subscribe, leave a review, tell us how we can make the show better. If you want to be on the show, go to peopleondating@gmail.com. Anyway, guys, I want to thank Chris again for being on. He was very insightful, very straightforward. I love that. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening to People on Dating. I'm Willie Morales. Until next time, thanks, everybody. Have a great day, and please stay safe. Bye.